Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Today we're going to be doing another sit down, chit chat, open video about my bookish pet peeves and opinions that might not be so popular to everyone else. I saw Reagan from Peruse Project do this video the other day and I was like, oh, that sounds fun. So I wanted to do it too. Go ahead and give a few disclaimers though. Your pet peeves, your opinions might not match with mine, and that is okay because we are human and we have that right to have our own opinions about things. But I don't want to have to sit there and argue with people because I'm not going to argue with you. But if you disagree, that's okay. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with some of these bookish pet peeves that I have or opinions that I have about specific things. But make sure that you keep it respectful. That's all I ask. But anyways, let's just go ahead and jump into it because I have a lot of things to talk about today. First one being stickers. People putting stickers on books for no apparent reason, and then the stickers ruin the book. So like this one. Yes, this was a secondhand book. I bought it when I was in college for my bachelor's degree. But still, it had a huge sticker on it, and when I took the sticker off, as you can see, it ruined my book. And there are still stickers on the back. This traumatized me because I was like, oh gosh, I just literally tore my book into pieces. And then stickers on the back of this, and you can't get them off without ripping the actual book itself. I have another book right here that I got from a Once Upon a book club box, and it has a sticker, but it's one of those stickers that you can't take off because it's printed inside the book cover. And I'm like, why do you do this? I don't want stickers on my books. I hate it when people put stickers on books. It drives me nuts. That's the first thing that I do, is I take a sticker off if it's on my book when I buy it. And yeah, that's my first bookish pet peeve. I'm sure that some people, other people can agree with that because I see it online all the time about stickers being on books, people getting mad about it, and all that kind of stuff. The next thing I have is fake step backs, especially on historical romance books. If you buy historical romance, you know that mass paperbacks are the way to go because you get more bang for your buck because they don't break the wallet. Plus, you also know that you're supposed to get pretty step backs. But like for this one, this is just an acknowledgement page. It has no step back whatsoever. If you don't know what a step back is, I'm going to get one that has an actual step back right quick. Hold on, don't go anywhere. I'm still right here. Don't leave. Okay, so this one has an actual step back. So that's a step back. It has the character embrace on it. You kind of get to see what the characters look like. But then you have some that come with this, and there's like a no acknowledgement page. But then there's some that have you see this little page break right here? There's some that have that page break, but then when you open it, it's fake. They put the page break there to get you to want to buy the book, especially if it's online and you can't see if there's an actual step back or not. That's the main reason why people buy historical romance mass paperback editions, is because of the step back. And it drives me nuts when they're fake. Another thing that drives me nuts is when people have paperback books. And you know how people open the book, but they just keep opening it and then they fold it all the way back, they fold their book in half. Breaking the spine, I completely understand because I do that a lot for some of my paperbacks too. But when people just open the book and they just folded it, they just keep folding it, and that drives me nuts. And I'm a teacher too, so when I'm actually reading a book in class, a physical book, and the kids just open it and they just fold that sucker in half, oh, it gets under my skin, and I'm like, don't you fold my book? And then whew, it just gets under my skin. I can't stand it. And I've done it to try to take Instagram pictures, but it's just great. It just irritates me. Now we're talking about bookstores in general. So y'all know that I am an avid romance reader. I have been since I was about 14 years old. Romance is the reason why I love reading, why I got into reading. And when I go into bookstores and I have to walk my happy tail all the way back to the very back of the bookstore because that's where the romance books are. That irritates me. Romance is one of the highest selling books, like genres, in the entire world. So why would they put the highest selling books in the back? I don't understand it. Also, horror books. All of my bookstores have the horror and the romance in the back of the store. Everything else, fantasy, historical fiction, nonfiction, traveling books, are all at the very front of the store, and I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. I know that people read all those different types of books, but come on, like, what's wrong with the romance book? But we're going to talk about that in a little bit. What's wrong with romance books? What's wrong with romance books? It makes me giggle when I see movie adaptations on books, like on book covers and stuff. It makes me giggle because a lot of them, except the Haunting on Hill House one, that one's actually really, really good. But most of them are just really cheesy. The first one that comes to my mind that's super cheesy is Twilight. When those movies came out, I never read the books. I barely watched the movies because whatever, that wasn't my thing. But seeing those movie adaptation book covers made me giggle. But so those are my main, like, funnier, more lighthearted book pet peeves. But now we're fixing to talk about two that really bother me when it comes to book pet peeves. The first one is when people find out that I'm a romance reader. It is an automatic floodgate of joking. It's an automatic floodgate of, oh, you only read sex books. You only read about sex. You read porn. You read smut. You read just nastiness. Why would you want to read that? And all that stuff. And I'm like, that tells me that you have never read a romance book in your life. Or if you've read one, you have read the wrong type of romance. Because yes, there are romance books out there that are nothing but the intimacy, like the physical intimacy part of it, sex. There are books that are out there like that, and that is called erotica. But I mostly read contemporary romance, and contemporary romance to me has a lot of emotional intimacy as well, and that's what I look for in my romance. I look for the emotional attachment that you have with somebody. I look for the characters being able to express themselves with somebody and to be their most authentic self. I also look for people who are lost in the world and they find somebody that helps them find themselves. Like that person literally builds that person up to the point where they're so confident with themselves, or if they're not confident, finding the confidence and to be confident and to love themselves, you know? That's what I look for in romance. But people online, when they find out you're a romance reader, or just people in real life, honestly, when they find out you're a romance reader, it's like you're supposed to be ashamed of wanting to read about stuff like that. Like, yes, a lot of contemporary romance has angsty scenes in it. We like that. If you're a romance reader, you most likely like to read about that kind of stuff, but that's not all you're wanting. Like I said, if you want that, erotica is your choice. But it's like you're supposed to be a closet romance reader. You can't read it out in public. I've had a lot of talks with people online. This is going into my next pet peeve. They are ashamed to have a romance book out in public because people give them strange looks, and people literally will stop and make fun of them, and people just dog the crap out of people who read romance. But the numbers talk. Romance is one of the highest selling genres ever. So why are people still making fun of other people or making people feel ashamed for liking something that they read? They're reading a book. What does it matter what they're reading? As long as it's not about children being harmed, in my opinion, animals being harmed for no reason at all. Pedophiles, no. Those three things, negative. No, if you're reading that, we'll have a conversation by ourselves. But if you're reading about two consensual adults, or just consensual adults in general, it doesn't just have to be two. If you're reading about consensual adults being confident and being able to express themselves in that kind of way, why is it so important for people to make fun of other people for enjoying reading about love and reading about people who are happy for each other, reading about people who find their confidence? Why is that such a bad thing? Please tell me why. And I have a lot of people still in my life right now, family and friends, that when they find out that I'm a romance reader, they just like to eat it up and they like to joke on me. It's like it's an invitation to talk to me any way that you want to, or talk to somebody that you want to, but it's really not. And that drives me nuts. Like, that drives me crazy. I don't say anything to anybody about what they read, as long as it's not physically harming somebody or talking negatively about specific groups, specific ethnic groups, specific people. Why does it matter? Why does it matter to so many people? Like, it is like an invitation just for anybody to say anything that they want to you. And that's not okay. My mom and daddy taught me, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And I think that's what a lot of people don't remember when they get older. Is, yes, you can have an opinion, but sometimes you just need to keep you need to keep your mouth shut about some opinions, because not all of your opinions need to be heard. You know what I'm saying? But people can read, and I'm gonna knock on some fantasy, because y'all know that fantasy's not really my forte. Y'all know that high fantasy is not my thing, because I don't think that I'm smart enough to understand all that stuff, like the world building, the political aspects, all the different creatures and all that kind of stuff. People eat that crap up all day long, but when they read about consensual adults loving each other, that makes them feel uncomfortable. And honestly, I think that is a lot of what people's problem is when they hear you're a romance reader, because they don't feel comfortable with their own selves. Me personally, I'll go out, I'll be reading romance in public all day long. I don't care. If you don't like what people are reading, don't look at it. Close your mouth and walk away. Why does it matter what people read? I don't understand. Like, you can have so many conversations with anybody in the world. You can connect with anybody in the world over a book. But you're going to make fun of somebody? And I'm not talking about you who's watching. I'm just talking about in general. And another pet peeve that I have about this subject is y'all already know that there's a lot of talk about racism, sexism, and people are trying to make the world a better place. But there are still people that have such closed minds that can't see the big picture and can't see what the future is. There's a specific book that just got made into a movie, right? And I'm sure you can read between the lines here. But there are a lot of people out there that are having issues with people now reading the book in modern day and having issues with a lot of the racist comments, racist things that happen in the book. And they are simply just voicing their opinion about it. And there are people literally attacking people online because they don't agree with what their stance is on that specific book. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my life. That's where I'm saying, if your opinion doesn't match someone else's, don't read their stuff. Don't look at their stuff. But I'm gonna stop it there, because that's my last pet peeve before I just go on and on and on. But those are my pet peeves and my opinions about books and bookish topics. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree or disagree with any of what I've said. We can have some conversations down below. If you did not agree with something that I said, again, let's have a conversation down below, but please make sure you're respectful in your constructive criticism, please. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you like these type of videos, just let me know down below, and I hope that you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you on the next one. I was gonna play a kiss, but that's weird. Bye! The only thing I dislike about making videos is you gotta clean up after them. Nobody ever tells you that.